In year 2015, the population of Malaysia was estimated to be 30.1 million people. 11.55 million of them were actually at risk of cervical cancer. According to HPV and relatable disease report, there were 2,145 victims of cervical cancer, and 621 could not make it through the new year. Do women actually aware the danger of cervical cancer? Do men even bother of this?
Cervical cancer is the third most common cancer among Malaysian women. My name is Jun. I've been writing blogs for 2 years, and I also like to check out other people's blogs because it gives me motivation and inspiration. A few months ago, I wrote a blog. It's about a girl who diagnosed with cervical cancer. It was a quite interesting and very sad article, I have to say, because it showed her feelings, journey, and courage, but I didn't mention how she gets cervical cancer. So I began searching on what causes cervical cancer, and the first thing came out was human papilloma virus, which is known as HPV. I was shocked. HPV is commonly found in sexually active men or women, and I was wondering, if I have sex, does that mean I can transmit the virus to the one I love?
So today I'm here at NCSM, National Cancer Society Malaysia, and I'm here to know more about the cancer from a specialist.
Hi, Dr.
Hi, good afternoon.
Pleased to meet you. I'm Jun.
Okay, Jun, hi. Visit.
Dr. Zarila, thank you for spending your time to
Most welcome. Most welcome. Yes.
Okay, so I want to ask a few questions here about cervical cancer.
Alright.
So I've known that the cervical cancer is mostly caused by HPV, right?
HPV virus, yeah.
So can I know more about HPV?
There are many types of human papillomavirus in the air, but the one that causes cervical cancer, this includes the 6, 11, 16, 18, and some other 15 other types. Human papillomavirus is very commonly transmitted if, let's say, for example, your immune system is down. Cervical cancer, 70% are caused by HPV 16 and 18.
Who is at risk on getting HPV?
Okay, those who are at risk of having HPV that causes the cervical cancer are those who are having HIV, renal failure, those with autoimmune diseases, those who are smokers, those who are having multiple sex partners. That is also who I will say at a high risk behavior for HPV.
So how HPV causes cervical cancer?
Well, basically what this HPV does is that it's like a virus, any other virus. It takes about 5, 10 to 20 years for the virus to infect your cells wholly. Let's say, for example, a lady A, she has been infected by this virus, and fortunately at that time her immune system is still good. So it will somehow clear this infection that is caused by the virus. But if she keeps on having this infection with this same HPV virus again and again, then it causes cells disruption at her squamous cells and at the columnar junction of her cervical.
So how does it spread to one to another?
Virus can be spread easily by skin-to-skin transmission. So for example, let's say it can be passed from genitals to genitals. So basically the main thing how HPV can be spread is either through non-sexual or through sexual contacts. When I say non-sexual, it means like, for example, if your hygiene is poor, your immune system is low, so the virus can be spread. It can also be spread from a mother to a fetus, for example, or during delivery. If the mother has an HPV, the infection can also be caused to the babies. Alright, but the babies won't get cervical cancer. But what the babies will have is some respiratory diseases. Now, through the sexual transmission, it can be spread not only by sexual intercourse, or it can also be spread through oral, through genitals, meaning that through oral sex. So all kinds of sexuality act can causes these viruses to be transmitted.
So may I know how to prevent cervical cancer?
So how do we prevent? One, for those who are already sexually active or having a partner for more than 2 years, then what they should do is to have a pap smear taken, which is basically a smear that is taken from your cervical area. It could be done from 21 years and above up to you're about 65 years old. The primary prevention that you can do is by taking the vaccination. The vaccination is known as the HPV vaccination. In Malaysia, since 2 years ago, the vaccinations is applicable for both males and females. The females is good to take as early as possible. The younger that you are when you take the vaccination, your chances of protection and coverage is much better. Now, the males can also take the vaccination not to prevent for cervical cancer, because males do not have cervix, right? Okay. But what the males can do is that they can protect themselves against the other diseases that is caused by HPV. For example, genital warts. And they can also protect themselves and protect their partners from getting HPV that causes cervical cancer. There are two vaccinations that is available in Malaysia. One is Gardasil, one is Cervarix. Both covers for cervical cancer. The one which is for males only are Gardasil. I would advise every young males and females outside that please do take this precaution, this vaccination, because it's going to protect you for the next 10 to 20 years. Okay?
As you can see, a lot of men do not know what cervical cancer is. So let me ask you again, as a man, do you think you can prevent cervical cancer?